Hello friends, so in today's video we are going to see this staircase problem. So first of all, what is this problem? In this problem we are given a staircase to climb, and in this staircase we are allowed to either take a one step jump, two step jump, or at max three step jump. And our task is to find out number of ways in which we can reach at the top. Okay, now let's take an example of a staircase having 6 steps and try to understand how we are going to find it. So here we have three options: one step jump, two step jump, three step jump. So our case one is when we will take one step jump. If I am taking a one step jump, then I will reach at the top of first stairs, and number of stairs that will be remaining to climb will be 5. Okay, let's assume A is the way in which we are going to climb remaining 5 steps. Now come to case 2. In case 2, I can take a 2-step jump, and when I will take a 2-step jump, I will reach at the top of second step, and remaining step will be 4. So let's assume number of B be the ways in which we can jump remaining 4 steps. Okay, 4 stairs. Now take case 3. In case 3, I am allowed to make a 3-step jump. If I will make a 3-step jump, I will reach on the top of third stair, and its number of stairs that will be remaining to climb is 3. And let's assume C be the number of ways in which we can climb remaining 3 stairs. So total number of ways in which we can jump a staircase of 3 stairs is the sum of these 3: A plus B plus C. Okay, and for the time being, just forget how we are going to find A, B and C. That I will tell you later. Now let's take example of a staircase having 7 stairs. And for the time being, remember this thing, that number of ways to jump a staircase of 6 stairs is ABC. Remember this thing. Now take an example of 7 stairs. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here also I will have 3 options. Case 1, case 2, case 3. 1-step jump, 2-step jump, 3-step jump. If I will take a 1-step jump, I will reach at the top of first step, and number of steps remaining will be 6. And let's assume X be the number of ways in which I can jump remaining 6 stairs. Must come to second option. When I will take a 2-step jump, if I am taking a 2-step jump, I will reach at the top of second step, and number of steps remaining will be 5. Let's assume Y is the number of ways in which we can jump remaining 5 stairs. Come to case 3. I can take a 3-step jump. When I will take a 3-step jump, I will reach at the top of third stair, and number of stairs remaining to climb will be 4. And let's assume Z with the number of ways in which we can do it. So from here we can see that number of ways in which we can climb a staircase of 7 stairs will be the sum of X, Y and Z. And what is our X here? X is number of ways in which we can jump a staircase of 6 stairs. Okay friend? And we have earlier found out that it was A plus B plus C. Okay, so you can see how we are finding recursively. So basically we are going to find the value of A, B and C recursively. Okay, like from here we are going to call a function to calculate 6, and in 6 is going to call ABC to find out its answer. So this is our recursive equation. Now let's take a general case and derive the recursive equation. Now this time I will take an example of a staircase having n stairs to come up with the recursive equation for general case. Till now we have seen the recursive structure 1, 2, 3, n minus 1 and n. So here also we will have three cases. Case 1, case 2, case 3. 1 step jump, 2 step jump, 3 step jump. If I will take 1 step jump, I will reach at the top of first stairs. And number of stairs remaining to climb will be n minus 1. And let's assume Sn minus 1 is the number of ways in which we can climb remaining n minus 1 stairs. Similarly, here we will be remaining with n minus 2 step, and let's assume Sn minus 2 be the number of ways in which we can do it. Here, number of stairs remaining will be n minus 3, and let's assume S of n minus 3 is the number of ways in which we can jump n minus 3 stairs. So total number of ways in which we can jump a staircase of n stairs is the summation of Sn minus 1, Sn minus 2, Sn minus 3. So this is our formula, and we will derive each of these recursively. So with every recursive equation comes a base case. Now let's find out how many ways in which we can jump a staircase of 1 step. Suppose if I have a staircase of 1 step and option we have is 1, 2 or 3 step jump. So here only I can use the first option, that is 1 step jump and reach at the top. So it will be one way. And when we have a staircase of 2 step, 1, 2, then I have also these three options. And what other option we can use? I will take a 2 step jump and reach at the top. And second option is I can jump to the first step first, and after that one more jump and will reach at the top. So total number of ways is 2 ways. And what is the last case? N is equal to 3. That is when we have 3 steps to jump. 1, 2, 3. So here I will have an additional option. So first what I will do, I will take a 3 step jump and will reach at the top. So this is our option number 1. Second option will be I will take a 2 step jump. And if I will take a 2 step jump, then I will reach at the top of second stairs. And I will again take a 1 more step jump and will reach at the top. And what is our final step? 1 step jump. If I am taking a 1 step jump, then I will reach at the top of first stairs. Then after that how many steps we are remaining with? 2 steps. Here also I can take either a 2 step jump and 1. So total number of ways is summation of all these. So 4 ways. So this is our base cases. Now let's write a program to solve this for us. Okay. Now first define this function. Let S be the name of this function which we will be using. So first write the base case. If n is equal to 1, I will return 1 from here. If n is equal to 2, I will return 2 from here. If n is equal to 3, we will return 4 from here. If this is not the case, n is greater than 3, then we will have to find out the answer. That is return s of n minus 1, s of n minus 2, s of n minus 3. That is, I will take a 1 step jump and find out the answer for remaining. I will take out the 2 step jump and I will find out the answer for remaining. I am taking a 3-step jump here and will find out the answer for remaining. And at last, I am going to sum it up to come up to the final answer, friends. So this is our Python program, and now I will execute this code and find out how this code is running and how much time it will take for particular value of n.
So friends, as you can see here, this is our recursive code. So before executing this recursive program, give me one answer. Why we have 3 base case here? Why not 2 and 3? So answer from my side for this question is, base case should cover all the possible options we have. Let's take example of a staircase which have only one stair. In this case, it will cover the option of 1 step jump, but not 2 and 3. When we are coming to n is equal to 2, so you can see here we have a 2-step staircase, and it will cover only 1-step jump case and 2-step jump. And when n is equal to 3, that is when we have 3 stairs to climb, it will cover all the possible options, that is 1-step jump, 2-step jump, as well as a 3-step jump. So friends, this is the answer for why we have 3 base case. Now let's execute this code. So now let's calculate the value for some particular value of n. So s of 5 is equal to 13, which is correct, and it is giving the answer in 0 nanosecond. Actually, it is not 0 nanosecond, it is very small amount of time which computer is rounding to 0 nanoseconds. It is very less than 0 nanosecond. Now let's calculate s of 6 as we have calculated. So s of 6 is equal to 24, and it is here also it is taking 0 nanosecond. Now calculate s of 20. S of 20 is taking 8 millisecond. Now calculate s of 30. As you can see here, s of 30 is taking 3.42 second, which is approximately 1000 times greater than s of 20. That is when compared time taken to calculate. So basically, time taken to calculate s of 30 is 1000 times greater than time taken to calculate s of 20, approximately. Now what I am doing here, I am making a time list, and for I in range 1 to 33, I will calculate s of I, and I will append a total time taken to calculate s of I in this particular list, which I am going to use later on to plot the graph. So as you can see here, I am calculating the start time here, and here I am calculating the end time, and between them I am executing s of I. Okay, and then I am calculating total time, and then I am appending this total time in this particular list. And this is just normal print stuff. And see what I am doing here. Here I am plotting a graph between n and time. So as you can see here, this graph is a exponential graph. Basically a staircase problem, that is recursive solution for a staircase problem, is a exponential program. Okay, now we will go to board and we will prove mathematically, or that is find out mathematically its time complexity, and after that we will draw the recursive tree for this one, and we will try to figure out whether we can apply dynamic programming here or not.
Now friends, let's find out the time complexity of this program mathematically. Suppose t of n is the time taken to calculate s of n. So t of n will be equal to t of n minus 1 plus t of n minus 2 plus t of n minus 3 plus some constant time, where t of n minus 1 is the time taken to calculate s of n minus 1. T of n minus 2 is the time taken to calculate s of n minus 2. And t of n minus 3 is the time taken to calculate s of n minus 3. And this constant time is coming due to this check, this check, this check, and these two plus operation. So we can write it as t of n is greater than thrice of t of n minus 3 plus some constant time. Why we can write like this? Because in any case, t of n minus 1 will be greater than equal to t of n minus 3. Similarly, t of n minus 2 will be greater than equal to t of n minus 3. So, now see how we can write it further. T of n is greater than equal to thrice of t of n minus 6 plus some constant times c1 plus c. If we will proceed like this, we will find out that t of n is greater than equal to 3 to the power n by 3 plus some constant time, which is order of 3 to the power n. So you can see here it is a exponential program. Now what we will do? We will check if we can apply dynamic programming here. So if you remember, what were the conditions to apply dynamic programming? Recursive equation, overlapping subproblem, and optimal substructure. Now we will check it one by one and see whether these conditions are satisfying or not. What? Recursive equation, optimal substructure, and third was an overlapping subproblem. Now let's dry run this program and see how its tree will grow. Suppose I am calling s of 6. Then what s of 6 will do? It will first of all do this if check. All of these will be false and it will then find its value. Try to find its value. And to find its value, first of all it will call s of 5. And for the time being it will keep on hold these two parts. And when it will call s of 5, these conditions will also be false and it will call s of 4. Similarly, s of 4 will call s of 3. When s of 4 will call s of 3, this condition will be true and it will return 4 from here. So when s of 4 will get the value of s of 3, it will again call s of n minus 2. That is s of 2. And s of 2 will return 2 from here. 2, and again s of 4 will call s of 1 and it will return 1 from here. So eventually s of 4 will sum it up and will return 7 to s of 5. And once s of 5 have got the value of s of 4, it is going to call s of 3, that is s of n minus 2. And s of 3 will, this condition will be true and it will return 4 from here. And again s of 5 will call s of 2. And 2 will return 2 from here, correct? And then it will sum it up and return 11 to s of 6. Then s of 6 is going to call its second part, that is s of 6 minus 2, that is s of 4. And again s of 4 will call s of 3, s of 2 and s of 1. It will return 4 from here, it will return 2 from here and it will return 1. So eventually s of 4 will return 7 to s of 6. And then s of 6 will call s of 3 and s of 3 will return 4 from here. And our value will be, it will be 13. 7 plus 4, 11 to 13. 13 plus 7 plus 4, it will be equal to 24. And s of 6 will return 24. Now, as you can see here, s of 4 and s of 4, this tree is going. How many s of 3 we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many s of 2 we have? 1, 2, 3. Similarly, s of 1, 1, 2. So, this overlapping subproblem property is satisfied. And one more thing, recursive is already satisfied and we have written recursive equation for it. Now, suppose instead of s of 6 we would have called s of 7. Then what would have happened? S of 7 would have called s of 5 and s of 4 also. So here you can see how big is the tree for s of 5. So tree as big as this would have grown here also. Similarly, s of 4 would have grown like this also. So you can see how big is the overlapping problem here. So now let's check if it is satisfying optimal substructure property or not. So you can see here S of 6 is calling S of 5, S of 4 and S of 3. And when S of 5 and S of 4 and S of 3 are finding its value, it is giving its value to S of 6. That is, S of 6 is breaking itself into some pieces of smaller problems, that is sub problems, and then it is taking back values from all these and then summing it up to reach to the final answer. And one more thing, this S of 5, S of 4 and S of 3 are giving optimal solution in itself. So this is satisfying the optimal substructure property, and overlapping generating some duplicate problem. So as you can see here, all the conditions of the dynamic programming are satisfied here. So we can surely apply dynamic programming here, friends. And in next video we are going to see a top-down approach for it, and after that we will see bottom-up approach. And friends, if you have liked this video, then please like, share and subscribe, and thanks a lot for watching.